So you've sold a few bits on Depop and Vinted, and now you're asking the question, when should I actually invest in a wholesale bundle? Like, could I buy denim in bulk and flip it for profit? You're scrolling through thousands of different listings and search engines to try and find the best wholesale supplier, and suddenly you're terrified of dropping £150 to £400 on a box of jeans that you've never touched from a supplier that you've never met that might be absolute junk. Yeah, I've been there and I know the struggle. Today, I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to choose the right vintage bundle to get your money's worth and also maximize your sales and your profit as well. We're discussing how I choose my denim products for my shop so that you don't have to make the expensive mistakes that I did. Hey Fleek family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, hi, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn the bell notification on so that you'll never miss when we post. Okay, here's the thing about denim. It's one of the highest volume, fastest moving categories right now. And just as a whole for vintage resale, it does tend to do the best. So when you think about denim, your mind probably goes straight to Levi's, Y2K cuts, waistcoats. And yeah, these products sell fast. There is a consistent all year round demand for denim products, whether you're selling on eBay, Vinted or Depop. Or even if you're selling on Whatnot and Tilt as well. And not just that, even if you have your own real life shop, you'll know that denim is a fast mover. But it's also the category where most beginners will make the most expensive mistakes. Because when you buy a bad bundle, it doesn't just cost you the purchase price. It costs you your storage space, your listing time, and the energy that it takes to literally get these pieces up online and hope that they will sell. What I'm about to teach you is a practical checklist that every reseller must know. And this is the same system, the same process that I use when I buy my waistcoats to resell them on Vinted and Depop. All right, we're going to move into section 1, which is choosing your stock. Before you even look at a supplier, you need to know what you're buying and why. This is so crucial, so stick with me. What I want you to do right now, if you're completely new to reselling, is make a mood board. Go onto Pinterest, find inspiration, and literally just curate a little Pinterest board or a mood board that looks something like this. You need to know your niche before you invest into stock. That's something that is really, really important. Your shop needs to have a clear aesthetic to it, whether it's Y2K, Western, especially if you're selling denim products, these would be brilliant cores for that niche to fit under. So with that said, your bundle that you buy for the stock that you're about to resell needs to reflect that. Buying pieces that don't fit your brand's image means that you'll create more work for yourself at the listing stage because you'll be selling to an audience that doesn't even know you yet. You need to choose your supplier properly. A reputable supplier will always include videos or photos of the actual products. So whether it be a detailed video or a walkthrough, or literally it could be a handpick as well, or you can go physically in person to your wholesaler, that's even better. You can actually assess the pieces before you purchase to know exactly what you're investing into. When you do this, you need to be assessing the condition, the quality, and also the variety. And when I say variety, I mean size variety. You don't want to just be taking their word for it. You want to see the products in person or at least over a photograph or a video chat to really get your money's worth. And if the supplier is not offering any of these I've just spoken about, that usually is your first red flag. The other thing I would suggest to do is to read the engagement signals. And what I mean by this is literally just look at the resellers' reviews. So look at the wholesalers' reviews, whether you're shopping online, through an app, in person, literally try and find the reviews of this wholesaler. What were other people's experiences with them? And then that would be the lead to how you're going to get on with them too. I think you also need to look, if you can, at their sell-through rate. That's really crucial. Maybe just ask them how quickly their bundles move. So if you can see stuff that's literally sitting in and out and in and out, they're probably a really good supplier. And this information will tell you more than a product description ever will. Forms like Fleek Vintage Wholesale will display this clearly for you within the listing, which makes it really, really easier to make an informed decision before committing. All right, section 2, which is all about what to request. So once you've found a supplier worth committing to and you're really excited with this, the question that you need to ask yourself is, what do I actually want to buy? And this is where a lot of first-time buyers will go wrong because they don't know what to ask. I think I see this a lot is they'll just accept what the supplier has without needing to ask questions, and then they'll just accept it when it arrives. But they have never been specific about what they needed in the first place. What you actually should be doing is to request a varied size range. That's something really important. If you have a mixed bale of different sizes, it does increase your chances of selling because people can wear things oversized. If you bought a bundle that only included 2 sizes, that really limits your sale potential and also slows down your sell-through rate. When it comes to denim, light, mid, and dark washes will attract completely different buyers. A varied wash mix means more listings with a broader appeal. The other thing that I would recommend that you do is ask about grading. This is different for every supplier, so that it is something that needs to be spoken about. Just ask your supplier, how do you grade the stock? There is a link down here, I will leave it in the description, which has all the T's and C's that you'll need to see how Fleek grade. I would recommend that you do read those before you go and buy your first bundle. And basically, what does that grading mean in practice? So things like good use condition vary completely from supplier to supplier, so just get specific on what that means. The most important advice I can give you right now if you are new to reselling or you're just getting started is that if you are a first-time buyer of wholesale, always start small. Place a small order first and just sell it. See what moves, see what doesn't, and then just buy more of the stuff that move fast. See what your customers are responding to and see how much they're going to pay for each piece, and just keep going and scale it from there. Going all in on a first bundle when you don't have that data to analyze what actually sells is a huge unnecessary risk that you don't need to take as a beginner. Right, section 3, where do we sell these pieces? Knowing where to list your stock is just as important as knowing what to buy. Let's just run down the 3 main platforms, Depop, Vinted, and eBay, and we're going to start with Depop first. Depop is best suited to statement pieces. I have said this before, but it's very true. Y2K jackets, your Levi's jeans, your Levi's jackets, and all of your beautiful embroidered denim waistcoats. Anything that has a beautiful aesthetic or a story to tell will move very fast because their audience over there is very style conscious, and that means that they're willing to pay the prices if your shop feels curated. Alright, moving on to Vinted. Vinted moves functional basics quickly and for a very good price. So clean, everyday Levi's mid-wash jeans are going to sell really fast. Anything that is a really nice denim staple item will always do well because on Vinted, buyers are searching for practicality, not just chasing trends. Now, eBay is where you take your higher value finds. So a pristine 501, for example, or a rare cut, or just something really quirky and different that you cannot buy anywhere else. Anything that's just grail adjacent, which I do find sells really well on eBay. eBay buyers are literally searching specifically for exactly what they want, and they will find your listing if you've optimized your titles and your descriptions perfectly. Top tip is to understand what the platform wants. What you need to do is match the piece to the platform, not simply just cross-list into all the platforms with no strategy. So the key here is to just know your platforms and know where to post your stuff. Which now brings me to talk a little bit about SEO, which is search engine optimization. Once your stock is photographed and ready to go, your listing is what determines whether or not it actually sells. Said it before and I'll say it again, but your title is your most crucial asset. You want to be able to lead with what buyers are actually searching for. So think about it like this. Vintage Levi's 501 straight leg jeans. Or you could put vintage Y2K oversized denim jacket. Could go with something like 90s denim embroidered western waistcoat. These searchable terms need to be right at the start of your listing. Your 5 first words matter the most, no matter what anyone tells you. These keywords cannot be buried at the end of a creative description, otherwise it will get lost in search. Your description should answer the questions that the buyer would have before purchasing. So things like the actual measurements, the fit notes, and also any flaws that need to be addressed. The more transparent you are, the more trust that you're actually going to build, and the more good reviews that you get, which means the more return customers you'll get. Plus, it means that you won't be dealing with loads of returns. That is all gone if the information was in the description in the first place. One thing I will say about pricing, and this is something I've learned as a reseller, don't just discount your whole entire shop. I've done this and I've made the mistake of doing that because it actually devalues your entire shop. Now, unless you are clearing out stuff and you just think, well, I need this gone, 50% off sale, let's go, that's fine. But if you're consistently running sales, it's not going to generate you the income that you need to be a successful reseller, because buyers will consistently ask you to decrease the price for them, because what this does is set the wrong expectations for the buyer. You are a curated shop, and that needs to be shown through your prices and your photography. All right, moving on to the next section, which is my own experience. So I'd like to share this from my own experience because I think it's going to reframe how you're going to shop your first bundle, whether it's a wholesaler that you're going to use, whether you're going to handpick in person or you're going to use a video chat or you're just going to literally look at videos and screenshot, I actually want to show you exactly how I do it. When I first started buying wholesale, I started buying small deliberately. It was small deliberately to make sure that it was right. And every single piece I sold, more importantly, it told me something valuable. Which styles move fast? Which products move fast? What sizes do well? Where did I actually pivot and sit in the reselling community? What was my niche? How did I find that? It took me a while, but I did find it. And for me, it turned out to be waistcoats. I love them so much. Yep, I do tend to wear a lot of them, and it's always really good to sell something that you love. It's down to the fact that I was looking for Western and utility styles specifically. I did this alongside selling a few Y2K pieces and also some Levi's denim jackets and jeans as well. I didn't start with that clarity, unfortunately. I found it by testing at a scale that I could actually afford to learn from. And that's the framework that I would recommend if you are just starting as a reseller. Test small, learn what works for your shop and your customer, and just scale confidently from there. I'm going to hop in here and say I have ordered a bundle from Fleek Vintage Wholesale. I'm going to literally just put a little video in here so you can see the unboxing content. This is how much I paid for the bundle, and this is what it works out to be per piece. So it just gives you a little idea of what you can actually get for your money. This one is again from Fleek Vintage Wholesale. I absolutely love the service. I also just love the pieces. As always, if you are a brand new customer and you've never heard of Fleek before, Fleek are a wholesale marketplace app that can connect you to loads of different suppliers from all around the globe. I made £500 profit on this bundle, and these waistcoats sold for $34.99 plus each on platforms like Vinted and Depop. And before I wrap up, let's just run down a few red flags. So if you're completely new and you're completely new to starting reselling, these are the red flags I would look out for. No imagery or pictures of the bundle. No size or wash variety. Vague condition descriptions. No reviews or track record. Please make sure that there are reviews of the supplier, because you don't want to take a chance or a risk on an untested supplier if you are literally just starting out. And the last one is just pricing that looks too good. If a bundle is marked lower than market price, then there's a reason for that. And it will arrive in a box, and you don't want that box. I will tell you that now. You will not want that box. So just bear these all in mind and make sure that you are literally just reading, checking right into the supplier if you can, and asking questions when and where, so that you're not literally falling for the mistakes that I have done, sadly. This isn't just a guide for Fleek. This guide that you can use for every single wholesaler that you use. It doesn't necessarily need to be for Fleek. It could be for anyone that you are shopping with. And just before we wrap up, I just want to run down a few questions that I know a lot of new beginner resellers might have. And I want to answer them for you, especially if you're looking to buy your first bundle. The biggest one is, how do I know what I'm actually getting before it arrives? Well, the best option I could literally tell you to do is to exact bundle filter on Fleek, or handpick your stock where you can, or go in person and handpick, because you'll know exactly what you're getting by doing this. My process is a little bit different when I'm handpicking for retro clothes shop. What I do is I literally will write to my supplier and ask him if he's got stock ready, or sometimes he'll write back to me and say, I've got stock for you. And if that's the case, what we tend to do is he'll send a video over, and then I'll screenshot the pieces and then send them back to him, and he'll build a bundle, send me the link, and I check out. So I don't have to go through the whole handpick video if I don't want to do that, especially if you're new and you're a bit nervous about going on a video call. I would just recommend that you literally just ask the supplier for videos, screenshot the pieces you love, and send them back to them. It's literally saved me so much time over the years. It takes me about 10-20 minutes to do in total, and I can get 50 to 100 pieces every time by doing it this way. I just want to quickly touch on sizing of denim products, because they're a little bit different to other vintage pieces out there. A lot of the time I found that vintage denim runs a little bit smaller than most pieces. I recommend that you do is always include the measurements wherever you can, whether it's pit to pit, length, waist, yeah, literally include everything, because it will save you so much time, because sometimes a size 16 might come up a 12 and an extra large might actually come up about a large. So it just depends on the actual garment. Sometimes it can be bigger, sometimes it can be smaller, but having the measurements there show accuracy for your buyer. People have always asked me as well, are cheap bundles actually worth it? The answer is no. The way you have to look at it is cheap bundles are cheap for a reason. and you'll spend more time trying to shift the bad stock than you ever saved on your price in the first place. So just literally where you can, find the best quality and go from there. And we have touched on this a little bit, but where do we start? Do we start with a large order or do we start with a small order? You know what I'm going to say. Always, always, always start with a small order where you can, scale from there and watch what sells and watch what didn't sell as fast. And then you'll know not to buy that stock again. All you're doing is basically experimenting with your shop, what's selling fast. I bought 10 waistcoats, okay, and they sold out. So then I knew my niche. Now, that might be the same for you. You might do the exact same thing that I did, and it really, really works. You could buy Levi's jeans and they all sell out, or Levi's jackets. You could buy anything that's denim related, patchwork jackets, and they just sell out so quickly. You're obviously going to buy more of that. As long as you're buying quality, you're handpicking stock where you can, or using exact bundle filters. I would recommend that you do this, and always, always, always include the measurements in your description, because this will save you so much hassle on the other end when the buyer gets it and it doesn't fit. So that would be my top tips to you. Please use them and make sure that you implement them into your business, because they'll save you so much time. Alright, I think that concludes this video. So to summarize, choosing a good denim bundle essentially means that you need to know your niche before you delve into this. Make sure you do your background checks on all your suppliers thoroughly. Be specific about what you're requesting as well, and get accurate. Send over a mood board if you can. And start at a scale that allows you to grow and learn without overcommitting. But if you were just like me a few years ago and you were so excited to buy your first bundle, then I am so excited for you. And you can do that today by using the Fleek app. There is a link in the description box down below for you guys to go and check that out. Everything in the background here I sourced on Fleek, so it's just about finding the right supplier as well, working with them and building that relationship so that you can always go back to them. I've been working with the same supplier to buy all of these lovely waistcoats for nearly 2 years now, and it's such a game changer. As always, if you found this video really useful and you liked it in any way, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn the bell notification on so that you'll never miss when we post. It will help more people find content like this who are just getting started in the reselling world. Thank you ever so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.